Okay, let's face it. Artificial intelligence is absolutely everywhere. It's in our supply chains, it's helping doctors spot diseases earlier, it's picking the next show you're going to binge. And look, the benefits are incredible. But it also brings up some really serious questions, right? Questions about fairness, about safety, and even about our basic human rights. So in response to all this, the European Union has just rolled out a massive piece of legislation, the world's very first comprehensive rulebook for AI. And today, we're going to break down exactly what that means.
And let's just get this out of the way right at the start. This is not some friendly set of guidelines. No. The EU AI Act is a law with real teeth. For the very first time, it makes certain kinds of artificial intelligence completely illegal across all 27 member states. This is a huge deal, and it really signals how seriously the EU is taking the potential dangers of this tech. So, before we can even get into the rules, we all need to be on the same page. What does this law even mean when it says AI system? Well, the official definition is a machine-based system that can act with some level of autonomy. But the key word, the one you really need to remember, is inference. See, unlike a simple computer program that just follows a strict set of rules, an AI system learns from data to generate brand new outputs. We're talking predictions, content, or decisions that can actually go on to influence the world around us.
We're going to tackle this by using the law's own logic, which is basically a pyramid of risk. We'll start right at the very top, with the stuff that's now completely banned. Then, we'll work our way down to the strict rules for what they call high-risk systems. After that, we'll look at the powerful foundational models, the engines of modern AI. And we'll finish up with how this whole thing is enforced. And, most importantly, what it means for you.
You know, the first thing to really get about the AI Act is its whole philosophy. This isn't just about regulating tech for the sake of it. The entire law is built on what the EU calls a human-centric approach. The big goal here is to build an ecosystem where AI is trustworthy, where it's safe, and where it respects all the fundamental rights and values of the European Union, while, and this is key, still leaving room for innovation to actually happen. And the Act's introduction, or preamble, it gets right to the heart of it. It says the ultimate aim is increasing human well-being. Now, that might sound like a bunch of legalese, but it's really the philosophical core of the whole thing. It frames AI as a tool that has to serve people, not the other way around.
Okay, let's climb to the very top of that risk pyramid. This is where the law gets really dramatic. The EU has identified a small number of AI practices that it believes pose an unacceptable risk. These things aren't just regulated, they are completely, totally forbidden. They're seen as so fundamentally opposed to EU values that they simply have no place in the market, period.
So, what made the banned list? Well, it's a very specific set of practices that are considered way too dangerous for society. We're talking about AI that uses subliminal tricks to manipulate your behavior in a harmful way, or systems designed to exploit the vulnerabilities of, say, children or people with disabilities. It outright bans general-purpose social scoring by governments. You know, think of a state-run system that gives every citizen a social score. It also prohibits companies from creating massive facial recognition databases by just scraping every image they can find off the internet or from CCTV. It bans emotion recognition AI in workplaces and schools. And finally, it forbids any system that tries to use your biometric data to guess sensitive things about you, like your political opinions or your sexual orientation.
All right, so just below that top tier of banned systems is the biggest and, frankly, the most complex category, high-risk AI. Now, these systems aren't illegal, but they are subject to some incredibly strict rules because of the potential harm they could cause to people's safety or their fundamental rights.
So what actually makes an AI system high risk? Well, the law defines it as any system that poses a significant risk of harm to our health, our safety, or our fundamental rights. And the Act doesn't just leave this vague, it actually provides a really detailed list of specific uses that automatically get classified as high risk. And these examples really show just how deeply this kind of AI can impact our daily lives. I mean, think about AI used in education to decide who gets into a university, or in employment, where a system filters job applications and might decide if you even get an interview. In essential services, an AI could determine your credit score for a loan or whether you're eligible for social benefits. And then you have these really critical areas like law enforcement and border control, with systems that could influence court cases or asylum claims. I mean, these are truly life-altering applications.
And because the stakes are so incredibly high, Any company that wants to deploy a high-risk AI system has to meet this really demanding set of requirements. They have to have a continuous risk management system running throughout the AI's entire life. They need to prove the data used for training is high quality and free from bias. They have to create detailed technical documents explaining exactly how the thing works. And this is crucial. The system must be designed for effective human oversight, so a real person can always step in. And finally, it has to meet super high standards for accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity. It's really all about building safety and trust directly into the system's DNA from the very beginning.
Now we get to the real engine room of modern AI. The Act has a whole special chapter just for what it calls general-purpose AI models, which, let's be honest, we usually call foundational models. These are the huge, powerful models like the ones that power ChatGPT and other generative AIs. The thing is, they're not designed for just one specific task. They can be adapted for tons of different things, and that gives them some pretty unique risks. Okay, so the Act takes a two-tier approach here. All general-purpose AI models have to meet certain transparency rules. Their creators have to keep technical documentation, they must respect EU copyright law, and they have to publish detailed summaries of the content they were trained on. But for the most powerful models, the ones that are deemed to have systemic risk because of just how capable they are, the rules get way tougher. They also have to conduct intense model evaluations, assess and deal with potential systemic risks, report any serious incidents, and ensure a state-of-the-art level of cybersecurity.
So how does all of this actually hold together? Well, at the base of our pyramid, we have the structures that give the AI Act its power, the governing bodies that enforce it, the absolutely massive fines for breaking the rules, and the new rights it gives to every single citizen in the EU.
So who's the referee in all this? The Act actually sets up a multi-layered system. At the very top, a brand new European AI office will be in charge of watching over the most powerful foundational models. Then, in each of the 27 member states, national authorities will be responsible for supervising the market on the ground. And to make sure everyone is playing by the same rules, an AI board with people from every member state will provide advice and guidance. And finally, there's a scientific panel of independent experts to offer technical advice when needed.
And what happens if companies don't play by the rules? Well, the penalties are severe. For the worst offenses, like using a banned AI system, fines can go as high as 35 million euros or 7%